Hey everyone, this is Mike, and today we're going to be taking a look at the upcoming changes for the Bozja Southern Front as well as the Delubrum Reginae Savage. Our new relic content, Zadnor, will be released in patch 5.55, which is about 6 to 8 weeks after patch 5.5 hits, but the changes that I will be talking about today will go live in a few days when 5.5 comes out. So if you still need to catch up on the relic to get ready for Zadnor, then now is basically the time to do so, or well, in a few days time when 5.5 comes out. So first of all, we have a new parameter called notoriety. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation here, but I'm just gonna roll with it for the rest of the video. So this is basically bad luck protection for the 1v1 duels. So every time that you're not chosen to enter a duel, you will now gain notoriety, and the more notoriety you have, the higher your chance of being chosen for a duel will be. And then once you're chosen for a duel, your notoriety will also be reset to 0. It does say that it increases your chance of being chosen and not that the player with the highest notoriety will be chosen. So we'll just have to wait and see how that will work out, but having at least something in place is very encouraging because right now you could be doing 100 critical engagements for these duels specifically and always get unlucky, and there's just nothing that you could do about it. At least with this change in place, you should be guaranteed entry into one of the duels at some point. The buff that you get when somebody wins a duel is also adjusted. It used to be 50% metal bonus for 30 minutes, and now it's basically doubled. It will give you a 100% metal bonus for 1 hour instead. Next on the list, there are 2 sets of critical engagements that spawn at the same time, so in other words 4 critical engagements in total. They've now made it so that these will spawn one after the other. Critical engagements are meant to bring the instance together, so having 2 up at the same time wasn't really a good thing, and now that won't happen anymore. To make up for this, they did increase the HP of the enemies in 2 of these critical engagements because there will now most likely be more players queuing for them as well, so it makes sense that their HP is a little bit higher. Moving on, if the number of players participating in a skirmish is lower than the number of players present when it first begins, enemies will be affected with a new hubris status effect, which increases their damage taken. The strength of this effect will also be adjusted as the number of participants change. So in other words, if there aren't a lot of players in your skirmish, the monsters will start taking increased damage, so you won't have to take half an hour in order to clear them. They've also made a similar change to critical engagements, but here they are going to be giving the players the power of the echo instead. So if you don't have that many players inside of your critical engagement itself, you'll get the echo, and then of course the lower the amount of players in your critical engagement is, the stronger the echo will become. Completing both skirmishes and critical engagements will also reduce the time it takes for a large-scale assault to spawn, aka castrum. Now, because they don't specifically say castrum in the patch notes, I'm kind of inclined to believe that this will also be the case for the new dungeon at the end of Zadnor, but we won't know that for sure until we actually get to go inside of Zadnor in a few weeks time, but it's still a nice adjustment nevertheless, as castrum is really great for a lot of things right now, so being able to spawn it faster by doing skirmishes and critical engagements should incentivize people to not just instance hop until they find a good instance where castrum is close to spawning, or just AFK at base until castrum spawns, because now you can actually make it spawn faster. And then last but not least, we'll also be able to purchase a riding map to increase our mount speed inside of Bozja, so you can now run from one skirmish to the other a lot faster, meaning that you can spawn castrum even faster. So that does it for the changes to Bozja. In terms of the Delubrum Reginae Savage, there's only really one change, and that is that you will now be able to queue into Savage with a minimum of 24 players. It's already possible to clear castrum with less than 48 players. The group that I normally run with cleared it undersized last week. I believe they had something around 32 to 35 players, somewhere around that, I'm not 100% sure. But they still needed the 48 players in order to get into the instance in the first place. So this problem is basically going to be alleviated with this. And then of course, the bosses already scale depending on the number of participants right now, so that's already taken care of. So you only need to find 24 players now if you want to go and take a crack at the Delubrum Reginae Savage. So that does it for the changes coming to our existing relic content. So I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank my Patreons for their support, and I'll see you in the next one.